Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. This is my episode 4. Can you believe it? Episode 4 with on Mondays with Coach Rice. I'm excited about this topic this morning, and I am here to serve you today. My subject is, will you allow the truth to set you free? The reason why that's important to me is because I'm on a journey of truth. I started my journey of truth 6 months ago, and I promise you it's been a journey. So the question I have for you is, this is so important. Have you ever wanted the truth from someone, but part of you like, I don't want the truth because I know it's going to cause me distress. But the other part of you needed to know it to set you free. You knew it, but it's it was complicated. These are the type of things I'm talking about. When I meet with my clients, my goal is always to give them the truth. Why? Because it's important. It's important for their transformation. So when I look up definitions, I often look up definitions because I like to give the facts. I kind of put together my own little definition, and it goes kind of like this. Truth is transformational data of an absolute standard by which reality is measured. Because you have to have the correct standard for your truth to be actually your reality be measured. Interesting, because without the truth, guess what? I'm being a slave to circumstances. Not only that, I'm walking in a false view of myself. That's not helpful. So I decided, stop dressing up patterns that don't serve me, and stop dressing up strongholds in our lives that don't serve us as well. Truth can be hard, no lie, to digest. I promise you it is. Because truth, it really puts us in a position that forces us to take action. And that's not always easy, I'm not going to lie. I attribute this particular topic to what Jesus said in the Bible when he said, you will know the truth. He said it in John 8:32, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. But when he was talking about that, he was talking to Christians who had become Christians, but they had strongholds in their life. So he was talking to them, because sometimes we walk around with these strongholds, even though we might be saved. That's a whole nother subject. I'm not going to go into that part. But he was talking to them about being free because they was enslaved with some of the patterns of behavior that they had. And so he was giving them a solution. And that's what truth does. It gives you the solution to what's really happening in your life that you constantly in a pattern of. I'm talking about it in a psychological context of psychological freedom. That I'm talking about it in that context today to you, because I'm giving you some key points that I had to go through in my own personal journey in my life. I had to accept what the reality was and stop denying or distorting what's really in front of me, because we can do that. We often can justify what's really happening. And I'm going to walk you through my life experience so that you can see what my journey looked like, and maybe learn the keys to apply to what you want your journey to look like. Because we all have, I call it deficit pockets. And I do an assessment with my clients about how to identify those. And I'll talk about that later. But the journey, I have many journeys that I've been walking on in truth to really make me a better person and show up my best self. Because anything hidden can never be healed. Remember that. And when Jesus was talking to them, he wasn't trying to hide anything from them. He wanted them to see what's in front of them so they can make a decision. Because one thing we have the freedom to do, we have freedom to choose, and we also have freedom to walk in truth. And so it's interesting because did you know it's in our DNA to hide? Remember in the Garden of Eden when Adam and Eve their first response in Genesis 3:10, read it, you can read it on your own. But when God was walking in the garden, Adam and Eve's first response was he hid. He hid because he felt ashamed and he was afraid. So he had two responses to what was happening to him. Fear and shame was operating. And that's what a lot of times hinder us. Fear and shame will hinder us and our ability to confront the truth sometimes. That's why it's important that we understand what's happening in front of us. We acknowledging and accepting the truth, I promise you, is so liberating. It's giving me the ability to be more creative and giving me a way to move forward. So I'm going to talk it in the context of my financial journey because that's the most shameful part that's hard to kind of talk about to other people because you're like, they supposed to look at you a certain way. But me, I'm at the point, I'm like, you know what? It's not about me. It's about when the Bible talks about when you have overcome something, you go help your brother. And so it's about me helping other people. It's not about me looking a certain way. And so in my financial journey, I faced a situation that caused me to have to evaluate my financial portfolio. As a health coach, we have in our program, I love it, but I never really quite understood it until I really went through it. And it's called the drama triangle. I'm implementing that in this topic because it played a very key role in how I was able to dismantle when I was under distress, when I really realized I'm in a financial situation that I don't like the way this feel. And I didn't quite understand how it played out. But it did cause distress in my life. So I made a choice to talk about it to you today because hey, it helped me. I want to help you. So the drama triangle is interesting because it got three players, I like to call them players, that keep us locked in this dysfunctional pattern. And if you don't understand where you are in that dynamic, it's going to be hard for you to get out because you're caught in it. And sometimes you just don't see it the way other people see it. But it's something you could do. So something went wrong. Something goes wrong in your life. Shame and fear kicks in. But you don't want to be looked at a certain way. It can be that. And then the roles began. And this is how the role played out in my life. And I'm going to be very transparent. So the victim, we call it one part of the triangle is the victim. The victim is saying something is being done to me and it's not fair. So you get this, you start to put the power on the situation versus taking charge of what actually happened. So the way it looked like, the way it played out in my financial situation was my thought, I don't make enough money. Therefore, I never get where I am financially. So if I'm thinking that, to be honest with you, where does that take me? I have nowhere else to go. That's the problem. And so when that happened it puts me in a state of being stuck, what I call being stuck. And then, so I could stay there. I got a choice. I could stay there in that drama and playing the victim, not serving me at all. It's putting me in a situation where I have nowhere to go. Then they have another part of the triangle. It's called the villain. The villain says, who can I place the blame on, whose fault it is? So I could say, oh, my husband, it's his fault. He messed my finances up. So the power, or I could say it's my job, or it's this and it's that. But the power goes to someone else. So it gives me no other place to go but sit in that situation and blame others and stay in that dysfunctional pattern. I can also utilize it as an opportunity to be open to learn more if I want to get out of that state. Then there's the hero. The hero says, I'm here to save the day, enabling victims, other victims. How that play out in my financial place is I don't have anywhere to go because I played the victim, I played the villain. So I need to feel validated. How do I feel validated? I start using my resources to help others to make myself feel validated so that even though I'm doing it in a deficit and it's not helpful. And so it's the other way is instead of doing that, I can get help I need and get out of this dysfunctional pattern so that I can empower others to be successful rather than enabling them so I can make myself feel better. All of this is self-serving, and it leaves you full in a state full of anxiety and nowhere to go. And so that's the cool thing about it. We got choices. We can stay in this dysfunctional pattern, or we can, I like to call it, they don't have this, but I call it the truth teller. That's the reality that's in front of you that's actually that has the solution to getting you out of it. And when I started to do the assessment on myself, I found myself in that pocket. My pocket that was in the deficit was the financial area. Yeah, I make enough money. That's no problem. I have the resources. God did bless me with the resources to have. But what I was missing was the truth that slapped me in the face was you not being a good steward over what God blessed you with. That's the cold reality. And so I took that truth and I said, man, I'm not being a good steward. So I had to, ask God, help me so that I can be a better steward of what you bless me with. Because if I keep doing this, I found myself doing this and I take different roles, but I land in the same place every time. I'm missing some truth. So I reached out for help. When you're doing this, I encourage you to reach out for help to get what you need when you find out the truth about something. So I found out the truth. I went and found me a financial advisor because I could have Googled my way out, years and years of research, but I kept finding myself in the same spot every time. So I reached out to a financial advisor, used the right standard for the truth that I'm seeking, and my journey started to begin a different way. I'm starting to loop out of this situation where now I'm being a good steward, because here's the key. The Bible said God he bless you according to what you can handle. Why would he give me more if I can't handle the resources he's giving me right now? And so when I thought about that, I'm like, whoa, that's a heavy hitter right there. So I want to make sure that I reach out to a financial consultant, because they already know what to do. They did the research. They did everything I need, so I could save me 10, 15 years of research and drama when I can just reach out to them, because that's what God put us on earth, to be a blessing to each other. And I don't have to have all the answers, but I know I am resourceful enough to step out there and help others with the answers that they need. And so this year I've been very proactive in finding people so that I can actually refer my clients to. So I have this interactive assessment I do on my clients all the time. You know how you go to the doctor, right? And you get your physical. They send you for blood work. They send you for labs. They send you to do your urine. They take your blood pressure. They want to give you, here's where you are this year, and here's what you need to do to get better at what you're doing. And so when I figured that out to be a standard that the physicians use, I said, wait a minute, we're not assessing our mental health. If our mental health is not proper, then we can't help anybody else. And plus, we don't assess it, but our mental health is important, because you could be physically fit and have some distress in your life that's causing you not to show up the way you need to be, right? So I do this on myself every 6 months because I want to see what areas do I need to grow in and who do I need to talk to get to where I need to be. This assessment allows me to see all these areas. So I'll give you a perfect example. I had a client who came to see me, and I used that assessment. The interesting part about it, the initial reason for the visit was a panic attacks. And after the assessment, I realized, wait a minute, can I send you to your physician to make sure it's not something organic, such as like anything that's dealing with your health? And then we can follow back up with me after you see your physician. She saw her physician and found out hypothyroidism. That's what was causing her to sit down with doing nothing and heart beating like crazy, and she don't know what's happening. And so if I would have just kept working with her with panic attacks, yeah, I would have been getting paid, but that's not helpful because she needed to know the truth. I'm not a doctor, trust me. I just know those symptoms sounded very familiar. And I was like, you need to go see your physician. And, you know, she was being treated for panic attacks and it wasn't helping. So that lets me know if a professional therapist is treating you and you're not getting the help, go see your physician because there's something else happening. And so I do this assessment, and it gave her a chance to see, and then she can come back and see me if she needs any other help. This is so important. So if you need a mental health checkup, stop putting a Band-Aid on something that needs more help, or being that person with that taking ibuprofen for 2 years for a leg that's been hurting, and you find out there's an underlying issue that's even deeper that you could have addressed sooner, but now you're at the point where it's too late. No, get your assessment. Call me. If you need a mental health checkup, I promise you it is beneficial. I have resources that you can go to. If it's not me that can help you with that deficit pocket, I have people that I have actually used that I feel comfortable handing off. I don't mess with everybody in that area. I want to make sure I hand them off and package it up and put you in the right care so you can get what you need. And so just reach out to me. Get on my calendar. Go to my website. It's complete, the letter nhem.com. And you will be able to access my calendar on my home page. And I promise you, it will be beneficial. It is you are worth checking up on your mental health to see what your deficit pocket is so you can show up and live your best life. I really, truly thank you for listening to me this morning. I care about you. I want the best for you. Please reach out if you need to find out where's your deficit pocket. I'm on this financial journey. I'm super excited. I'm so happy about my financial advisor. Got me on the right path. Got me going in the right direction because I chose to accept the truth and stepped out of that drama triangle because it wasn't serving me. I've done it enough. Enough is enough. When enough is enough, you ready to move on. Thank you for listening. Have a fantastic morning. Happy Monday. Don't forget, we got a lot going on. Don't forget to tune in to the Rice Perspective every Sunday evening at 6 p.m. You will hear the Rice Perspective. You should have saw us last night. I ain't gonna lie. If you didn't see it, go look at it because it was pretty funny. It's pretty good, but it's pretty funny too. We had a lot of fun doing that show, but it's every Sunday, 6 p.m. Don't miss it. I promise you, you won't regret it. We will be talking about this coming Sunday. Are you parenting with guilt? That's a big one. So reach out and talk to us. Reach out and listen to us. I promise you will get some information, but we're having fun doing it. So thank you for listening. Have a happy Monday and enjoy your day.